Okay, so I have a huge pet peeve that I continue to see all the time in reviews that I see in the threads online and forums online and all over the place. Out of spec reviews. You should know better, but people say this all the time. This should be better for a luxury truck, and this could mean anything. The sound system, or a feature people want that's not software focused. Rivians are not luxury vehicles, and I don't mean that with any malice. This is a premium vehicle. It is not a luxury vehicle, and there is a difference. So when I see people constantly about the sound system should be better for a luxury vehicle. No, it shouldn't. First of all, the sound system's great. People pick on it all the time, and if you're listening to this or viewing this currently, as of the release date of this video, they made a huge update to the sound system over the air, and it's amazing. It was good before, genuinely. People needed to quit whining about the sound system, but a small group of individuals were just really loud about how bad the sound system was, and kept saying, for a luxury truck, this should be better. Rivians are not luxury trucks. They're not luxury vehicles. They're premium, they're nice, but they're adventure vehicles. If you go to Rivian's own website, it does not say luxury anywhere once on the website to sell the vehicles. This is not what they are. It's not what they're marketed as. It's not what they're intended as. It's a hiking boot compared to a dress shoe. They do the same things as, a luxury vehicle, let's say an Escalade or a Range Rover. Sure, they can do some of the same things. That's not what they're intended for. Even Range Rovers, which are exceptionally capable and really great vehicles, they're not intended to be used off-road anymore. They're not. No one's buying a brand new Range Rover and going off-road in it. Not a brand new one, except maybe Whistling Diesel, or someone trying to be like Whistling Diesel, I guess, or someone with an obscene amount of money. So Range Rovers start, I think it's at 107,000 start, and they're not even EVs. Okay, they're pushing real hard. They have little EV tags all over their new electrified Range Rovers, but they're just hybrids, and selling you something if you think it's an EV. So yes, they're electrified, quote unquote, but they're not EVs. They're entirely different than what a Rivian is intended for. When you compare price, they don't compare. Rivians start, like the R1S, I think, is 76,000, and the R1T is 69,000. Anyway, they're not priced anywhere near luxury vehicles or luxury vehicle prices. I think that the Escalade EQL starts at 130,000. That's more than a quad, a brand new quad R1S. That's stupid money. And when people keep complaining and say, well, this is a luxury vehicle with a luxury price, no, it's not. Go and look at a Tahoe that's actually on a lot, or actually available. Sure, if you could build one on their website and order it to spec, you could get one a little bit cheaper, but 76,000 is really close in price. You're gonna find some that are a lot more expensive than that. And if you move up to the Yukon XL, then yeah, you're way more than that. So for people who continue to demand or say, like, hey, well, this should be a luxury vehicle, it's not. And I don't want it to be, and I wouldn't have bought it if that was the idea behind it. The idea behind this is it's a hiking boot. It kind of does everything. You can get it muddy and hose it off and it's fine. It's not a dress shoe that you have to primp and preen and use special leather creams for the surfaces inside or any of the rest of it. It doesn't have monster wheels. I would still love if they had slightly smaller wheels. 18s would be great. The 20s are fine. But more than that, and you're reducing your ability to go off-road in a pretty big way. So even on 20s, you are compromising off-road on how much sidewall there is, and that tends to lead to pinch popping tires. So it's mad at me. So yes, I mean you can take a Range Rover off-road. You could take a brand new one. You could take an Escalade off-road, but that's not really what they're intended for, especially not the Escalade. It's a huge pet peeve of mine. Big name companies and reviewers and people out there continue to say, and even other owners, which I get it, we all want to think our stuff is so nice, and Rivians are not cheap. The R2 should hopefully bring the value proposition down a bit, make it a little more enticing to a lower entry point. But if you are like me, and I think I'm the target demographic generally for an R1S, I have a load of kids and a dog, and I like to go outdoors and drive on the beach or in the desert or in the mountains, in the snow, whatever. I tow occasionally. It's a do-everything vehicle. It's not a dress shoe that's intended to be only used in certain areas. Sure, you can go hiking in your dress shoes. It's not gonna go very well. It's not. You're just gonna tear up the dress shoe, right? And that's the same if you take an Escalade EQL off-road, you're just gonna tear it up. And if you take a brand new Range Rover off-road, you're gonna end up tearing it up too. I think they're exceptional off-road, and with some modifications, they can be the best off-road. But that's not the target demographic. The target demographic is not someone who's gonna buy it, take those keys, and go straight off-roading. This is a brand new vehicle, and if you're comparing it to other brand new vehicles, it's very good value. And no, it's not luxury. It doesn't have massaging seats. It doesn't have captain's chairs in the middle row. And I love that. Thank you so much, Rivian, for doing that. I hate captains in the middle. It's great if you've got 2 kids. If you've got more than that, you're just losing a seat and there's no real benefit. So yeah, the fact that I can get, a bench seat in the middle, standard. This is just a standard vehicle, including taxes and fees. We were at like $82,300 or something. And I think it was $78,500 before taxes and fees, something like that. And again, you can get a brand new one for $76,000. It's just, I would like anybody who's looking at Rivians and who is cross-shopping or whatever to understand what they're getting, because I don't want people to be confused and then disappointed in their purchase. If you're looking for luxury vehicle, understand that Rivians are not luxury vehicles. They're premium. They're a lifestyle vehicle. They'll get you outdoors. They'll do anything you want them to. But no, they're not luxury vehicles. Sure, maybe at some point they'll make a more luxurious Rivian, but that's not what the R1S and R1T are currently for. So they're amazing vehicles. They are not luxury vehicles. Yes, they are premium. Yes, they're expensive, but just like any other vehicle that's brand new. So that's a quick rant of mine. Don't think of the Rivian R1S as a Range Rover or an Escalade or a Lexus even. Think of it more as a 4Runner, an older Defender. This is kind of what the new Defender should have been. I don't hate the new Defenders. I actually kind of like them, but they're small. The storage is tight, and again, they're going to be more expensive than this thing is comparatively. So this should have been, you know, what Land Rover did with the Defender or the Disco, the full-size Disco, something like that. Don't think of this as the big boy Range Rover, you know, with ultra soft materials. This is built to last. The materials are designed to last. It's intended to have all 5 of my wild kiddos in the back, my dog. It's intended to go off-roading and get us to the hiking trail, take us up in the mountains to the snow, cruise down to the beach, maybe do a road trip up to LA, that kind of thing. It's not intended to be the quietest, most plush, most serene, opulent experience. That's not what this is. And anybody else who said that Rivians are luxury vehicles and should have, you know, features according to a luxury vehicle kind of bracket or group, that's not what this is. It's not what it's for. That was never the point. There was a time when they were very exclusive, and that made them sort of, it gave an appeal to the luxury vehicle group, I think, the luxury vehicle buyer. But no, that's never what they've been about. These vehicles have been about longevity. You know, just take a scroll through the website. Don't listen to me necessarily. Take a scroll through the website and actually read what Rivian is saying about their own vehicles. Sustainability, longevity, you know, buying something that's going to last, not just putting trash in the environment, not using, you know, the world's limited resources to build a really comfortable, you know, soft touch seat or steering wheel. And I appreciate that. That's been my experience so far with Rivian. I'm just coming up on 10,000 miles. If you are in the market for a new Rivian, or even a used Rivian, please understand and set your expectations with premium vehicle, durable, rugged, built to last, beautiful interior, in my opinion. I think they look great from the outside too. Not an Escalade EQL, not a Range Rover, not even a Lexus or a Mercedes or anything else. So for those of you who are buying a new vehicle, please understand that, you know, sure, you've got the Mercedes G-Class EV now, which is super incredible. That's awesome. But that is a luxury vehicle. This one is not. There's a practicality to this. Think Land Cruiser, you know, the older school versions, or even the original Range Rovers, which were nice and luxurious for the time. When people are complaining about features this doesn't have, or, oh, the sound system should be better because it's, you know, a luxury vehicle, or it should have massaging seats, or I don't know, whatever. Just take that with a pinch of salt. It's not a luxury vehicle. It's not what it's intended for. Read through the website, read what Rivian says about their own vehicles and what their intent and purpose behind the vehicle is. And then also look at actual prices. For people who are saying, oh, this compares to a luxury blah, 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 go and look at the actual price of any luxury vehicle. They're gonna be more expensive comparatively, or lacking in some huge area. So compare a luxury pickup truck price to the R1T, or a luxury SUV price to an R1S, and you'll see that it's much cheaper, or at least a practical, decent value, rather than being overpriced as far as the R1S or R1T go. So yes, there is crossover. You know, this has adaptive dynamic suspension that I think is better, or works in a better way than anything that compares. you know, even Range Rovers. So yes, this has air suspension and hydraulic suspension. That's all great. You know, it carries people like a luxury vehicle can. But despite the fact that there is some crossover, they're entirely different vehicles than any luxury vehicle built. I'm not scared of breaking anything in the interior on this. I've genuinely had my dog in here. We take it to the beach. Like we genuinely use this vehicle. For any luxury vehicle, I would be nervous about ruining the interior by getting it dirty or covered in sand or any of the rest of it. And maybe, you know, there's plenty of people out there that have luxury vehicles and are not afraid of ruining them because they've just got, you know, tons of money to spare. That's not me. That's not my family. This was a big purchase for us, like a brand new vehicle is for most people in this country. It was a decision we actually put thought into. This wasn't something that I was like, screw it, let's go get a Rivian today. It was something we considered for a really long time, and I genuinely didn't think would actually be in our price range, maybe ever. But when the dual standards came out, especially the Gen 2s, they're really surprisingly affordable. And like I said, when you factor in not paying for gas, which in, you know, a Suburban or a Tahoe is a whole nother payment's worth of cost every month. And, you know, if you're at all environmentally minded, then there's really nothing. There's no competition out there for this. Yes, there are more luxurious vehicles, of course, because this isn't a luxury vehicle. So, it's incredibly capable. It blows my mind all the time. Every time I take it off-road, it stuns me. It's so good. And again, I think I've promised an off-road video several times. I'll get to it, I promise. Usually I end up just having too much fun, and I don't want to, you know, sit there and mess around with setting up the camera for different angles off-road, or going down one trail towards the tripod and then coming back and redoing the trail or getting the tripod. So yeah, I'll do an off-road video eventually, I promise. But it is, this vehicle is amazing. It is practical. And yeah, as far as durability, you know, I guess we're gonna see. I think it's gonna last well. But you know, Rivian's still a relatively new company. We don't know that for sure yet. So, and by the time we do, Gen 3 R1Ss will probably be out, and that'll be a new question mark. You know, anytime you buy any brand new vehicle, unless it's already been out for 5+ years, you don't really know where its weak points are, and every vehicle has some. So, yeah, again, I think that the company is doing what they promised. I think that they have good intentions, and I think that it's a really well-engineered vehicle. It is a premium experience. This was my family's money, my family's decision, and we definitely don't regret it. This thing's incredible. So stay tuned. I have an update coming hopefully soon. I have ordered a bidirectional charger and some extra solar, so that hopefully I'm going to be messing around with charging from the sun, you know, and seeing if I can run my vehicles purely off of actual direct captured sun energy from my own solar panels, or if I'm still going to have to kind of top off with regular electricity at nighttime. So we'll see. Yeah, lots of things coming, but that is one of my pet peeves, and I just can't stand every time I hear it. Like, I do the whole like, and roll my eyes. Stop saying it. Please don't set your expectations that way. If you want a luxury vehicle, that's great. The Rivian is a premium vehicle and may keep some luxury vehicle buyers happy. But if you're primarily concerned about the luxury part, I don't think this is the right vehicle for that buyer. So if you're interested in a lifestyle vehicle and being able to do an enormous amount of things with a single vehicle, I do think this is the vehicle for you. But again, I've said this before, if we all bought the same vehicles, the world would be a pretty boring place. Like if we all thought the same and wanted the same things and did the same things, the world would be boring. So I still like gas vehicles. I just don't want to daily drive one. And as far as impacts on the environment, I want to do my part. But also EVs are freaking incredible. They're so fast, they're so fun. The R1S in particular is mind-blowing. The suspension's incredible. I love it. So it's for me. It's the right vehicle for me. I'm sure it's the right vehicle for plenty of other people out there. And if you're looking, don't forget to use a referral code. Mine's right there. But use somebody's. You don't have to use mine. Again, I think if you're not going to use mine, I'd recommend Rivian Roamer. If you don't use Rivian Roamer yet and you have a Rivian, go sign up at their website. I don't get anything from it, but it's really helpful information for any Rivian owner. Just trying to help anyone who might be in the process of buying their own brand new vehicle or even gently used vehicle. I think Rivian's great. I recommend them to everybody, but different people have different needs, and not everyone needs an R1S or an R1T. So yeah, I just want people to keep that in mind when they're shopping. These are not luxury vehicles. Please ignore when people say on reviews that these are not luxury vehicles. When people say it, it doesn't mean it's true. And just because I'm talking doesn't mean that everything that I'm saying is true either. I do my best, and I hope that I am being accurate and truthful for everybody out there. I'm sharing my own experience as genuinely and openly as possible. But that's part of it. This isn't a luxury vehicle, and I don't want people buying one that want that.